Page 257. All of you people of your kind, or human beings, you have been selected by the wellspring of the love, or creation, as its highest created kind of life, or life form, to look after Earth, the firmaments, or universe, the Earths, or worlds/planets, the lights in the firmament, or celestial bodies and comets, etc., as well as being the guardians or protectors of them, and all kinds of life, or life forms. Therefore you shall take and look after everything in this wise, just as you shall be connected to the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, and it itself, in gratitude for this. Always remember the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, and the teaching of the prophets, through which you are admonished and find explanations in all things. So you shall hold fast to it and make the best of it in all respects, so that you are not malefactors or lawbreakers against the truth. Consider that if you conduct yourselves arrogantly or vainly against the truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, and if you are against all right and against the accountability, then although you can see the signs or evidence of the wellspring of the love, or creation, in its appearance or nature, and all around in the firmaments, or universe, and on the earths, or worlds/planets, as well as in the lights of the firmament, or celestial bodies/comets, and in all kinds of life, or life forms, in people of your kind, or human beings, and in everything that crawls and flies, you nevertheless cannot recognize or see the signs or evidence as such, and neither can you understand them, because you do not live according to the truth, and you do not know it either. And if you are shown the way of the truth, and also see the way of fairness, or responsibility, and of accountability, then you do not want to accept it or walk upon it, but continue along the way of erroneous assumption, which you have made your own, because you treat the signs or evidence of the wellspring of the love, or creation, as a lie, and do not heed them. And those amongst you who do not heed the signs or evidence of the wellspring of the love, or creation, and do not heed the truth, your deeds are arrogant or vain, and are not steadfast, and therefore you cannot be rewarded for goodness, but instead you can only receive a poor reward for what you do that is lacking goodness. And do not make yourselves gods and tin gods out of gold and pieces of jewelry, neither from wood, or from stone, or from metal, or anything else, because they are only lifeless insubstantialities which cannot bring forth any sound, because truly you shall be connected only to the truth of the wellspring of the love, or creation, and its laws and recommendations, through which you are led or guided onto the right way, and which do not demand any worship from you, so that you are not malefactors or irresponsible ones against the truth. Truly, it is only rightful for you to be seized by remorse for what you do that is disgraceful or criminal to the truth. Recognize that you are truly going into delusion and are doing unright, so that you may give yourselves rightful instruction or teaching, and have pity for yourselves and forgive yourselves, so that you are not lost ones who wallow in the untruth. Be worried or concerned if you take the way of falsehood and perpetrate evil, because you are in a rush to concoct or hatch a way for yourselves that should bring you quickly to possessions and wealth, because truly only your worries or concern about your evil striving and about your evil deeds can prevent you from doing what is unrightful, so that enemies do not rejoice over you, and cannot rightfully accuse or blame you of misdeeds. Be worried or concerned if unrighteous or conscienceless and unfair or irresponsible and virtueless thoughts and feelings befall you, so you grant yourselves access to your own equitableness or fairness, and righteousness or conscientiousness, and virtuousness, and you are your own giver of compassion. However, do not pray to yourselves so that you do not become arrogant or vain to yourselves, and you do not bring down upon yourselves rage and ignominy from people of your kind or fellow human beings, and lead your life here below indifference or honorableness, so that no others can fabulate or invent lies and slanders or calumnies against you which harm you. However, if they do invent lies and slanders or calumnies against you, if you are not arrogant or vain, and if you direct or maintain your existence or life in modesty, righteousness, or conscientiousness, virtues, and equitableness or fairness, then the lies and slanders or calumnies will turn to your advantage and benefit or success, and become a disadvantage or detriment/harm, and a uselessness to the liars and slanderers or calumniators. If you do evil and commit unfairness or irresponsibility, unrighteousness or consciencelessness, and virtuelessness, then people of your kind or fellow human beings will forgive you in the same wise as you can forgive yourselves, if you feel sorry in uprightness and in openness or honesty, and you visibly or obviously and recognizably change to the better. And do not allow rage to rise up in you, but calm yourselves down if you become agitated, because you require your own leadership or guidance in calmness or equanimity, so that you are afraid of what is shameful or villainous, of what shameful or villainous things you could do in rage. Choose yourselves as righteous ones, or conscientious ones, and fair ones or responsible ones, and do not set any delay in doing so. Rather, make the change in the moment, or immediately, so that you no longer do unrighteous things, or conscienceless things, and unfair things, or irresponsible things. Eradicate everything in you that cannot be brought into agreement with the truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love or creation, and do it for the sake of being righteous ones or conscientious ones, fair ones or responsible ones, and virtuous ones, so that you withstand each temptation and you no longer fall into calamity. Be your own protectors. Take pity on yourselves and forgive yourselves, because you are the best forgivers if you are sincerely remorseful, and you free yourselves from all unright and all unrighteousness, or consciencelessness, and iniquity, or unfairness. Determine goodness for yourselves in this world, and turn honestly and remorsefully to the truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, so that no punishment whatsoever may strike you because of yourselves or people of your kind or human beings, but rather that you may be surrounded by an all-embracing feeling of good protection, as is given to all things when what is done rightfully, as is determined by the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation. And if you follow the true prophets, then you direct yourselves according to what is right, and avoid unright, as is recommended to you through the recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation. And the recommendations recommend that you shall only allow yourselves good things, but deny yourselves bad things, so that everything may vanish from you that places a burden upon you, and which keeps you in chains, which makes you captives of your own selves. And if you open your ears to the word of your true prophets, and make their teaching into your knowledge and your wisdom, thereby honoring the prophets in their duty or mission/obligation, and strengthening them and helping them, and following the light, or clarity of teaching, that they spread, then things will be fine with you. All you people of your kind, or humankind, truly, Your true prophets are the light, or signpost, on your world, and therefore they are the pioneers that you may one day understand the firmaments, or universe, and the earths, or worlds/planets, the lights in the firmament, or celestial bodies and comets, etc., as well as the kinds of life, or life forms, and people of your kind, or human beings. And they teach you that the appearance, or nature, and the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, give life and let it die again, in order to reawaken it through the power of the spirit body, or spirit form. Therefore, you are recommended to open your ears to the true prophets and their teaching, and their words, and follow them so that you may be rightly led, or guided. All the people of your kind, or humankind, be a unity, or community, in which you admonish yourselves through the teaching of the prophets to the truth, according to its laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, its equitableness or fairness, righteousness or conscientiousness, and sincerity, as well as virtuousness and love. Although you are divided into tribes and peoples, you are still a unity, or community, as all people of your kind, or humankind. Therefore, you shall not rise up against one another with hatred, battle or war, revenge, and retribution, so that peace and freedom, as well as consonance or harmony, may prevail amongst you, as is recommended to you through the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation. Therefore, you shall not commit misdemeanors or infringements against it. Live as a great community of people of your kind, or humankind, in true peace, in love, freedom, and in consonance or harmony on earth. Do good things for one another, and create assuagement from all your burden, and do not allow yourselves to be driven through the gate of submissiveness by people of your kind, or human beings, or by fabulated or invented gods, tin gods, and demons, when priests and other servants of gods, servants of tin gods, and servants of demons promise you salvation, or redemption, and forgiveness for your missteps, or vices/blame/unvirtues/offenses. Vices, blames, and unvirtues, because truly their promises are only lies and powerless words, because they do not have the might to liberate you from your missteps, blames, vices, and virtuelessness. Only you yourselves can forgive yourselves if you sincerely feel sorry for your unrightful deeds, and henceforth do good deeds and continuously increase the number of good deeds. Do not be unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and do not confuse the word of the truth with words of the untruth when you speak with people of your kind, or fellow human beings, so that you do not charge yourselves with lying, and no shame comes over you as judgment from those to whom you twist the words of the truth into words of the untruth, or calumny. Do not be outrageous or presumptuous with your words, but always use them carefully and decently, so that you cannot be charged with impoliteness or boorishness. And do not defile your honor and dignity by making enemies of, or insulting, others, and making yourselves out to be better than you are, so that other people will not be indignant at you. And do not go to people of your kind, or next ones, and amongst the people, in order to preach that the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, shall be eradicated as a teaching of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, and that those who teach and live according to it shall have a strict punishment meted out on them. Truly, such doing is only performed by unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and belief-oriented priests of gods, tin gods, and demons, And there are no pretexts or excuses for this, because such preaching amounts to all of the disgracefulness or badness/ignominy that a person of your kind or human being can load onto himself or herself in unrighteousness or consciencelessness. Never forget what the true prophets warn you about through the teaching of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love or creation, so that you may save yourselves from the evil that is not recommended to you, so that you do not impose a strict punishment on yourselves, and that you do not have to accuse or blame yourselves in strictness as ones who are rebelling against the truth of the primal power or creation, and as unfair ones or irresponsible ones. Do not rebel defiantly against the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation that are given to you, so that you may do rightfully and impose prohibitions on yourselves for those things that are unrightful. Cultivate your thoughts and feelings in equitableness or fairness, in righteousness or conscientiousness, and in virtuousness, so that you recognize yourselves in value as people of your kind or human beings, and you finally do not insult yourselves as contemptible apes. And consider the words of the true prophets, who teach and announce to you at their time that you will certainly or without doubt awaken on the day of your appraisal or cognition of the truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love or creation, and will exert pressure on and eliminate the evil in you with grim anguish, so that you bring about a resurrection of the good and truthfully in yourselves, and you can forgive yourselves. As all-embracing people of your kind, or humankind, you are divided into tribes and peoples, and so there are some amongst you with a belief, or assumptions, in gods and tin gods, and others with a belief or assumptions in other gods and tin gods. And therefore there are amongst you, as all-embracing people of your kind, or humankind, righteous ones, or conscientious ones, and fair ones, or responsible ones. And there are amongst you some who are neither. But truly you are split up, or not consolidated, in belief, or assumptions, in gods, tin gods, and demons, so that you have many godlinesses or religions, and sub-godlinesses or sects/cults, all of which offer fallacious teachings with much more lying and slander or calumny than real truth. Therefore, all godlinesses or religions and sub-godlinesses or sects/cults are recommended to liberate themselves from their fabulated or invented gods, tin gods, and demons, and to turn themselves to the real truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love or creation, so that they only continue to teach the truth and no longer lead all people of your kind or humankind into confusion, but rather into the light of existence or reality, so that amongst all people of your kind or humankind, in you and amongst you all, there may be true knowledge, truthly love, and wisdom, as well as peace and freedom and consonance or harmony. You people of your kind or human beings, do not continue to allow awful things to come over you through the belief or assumptions in gods, tin gods, and demons, as is preached to you in delusion by false prophets, priests, servants of gods, servants of tin gods, and servants of demons, who inherited false writings of false prophets and scribes, and led you into delusion with them. And do not reach for these delusional teachings, or for the miserable goods of this world that mislead you into avarice, and make you think, or thinking, that you are more than people of your kind, or fellow human beings, if you own more wealth and goods than the others. Consider that the false prophets and false scribes have made a bond or agreement with the untruth, and slander or calumny, so that you also shall not reach for it, and shall not allow yourselves to be led into delusion. Only guide or lead yourselves to the truthfully teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, as is given to you through the teaching of the prophets, out of the truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the love, or creation, that has been researched by the true prophets, and who have recognized the real truth in it, and proclaim and teach it to you. But those amongst you who hold fast to the false teachings of the false prophets and false scribes, and make prayers to gods and tin gods in submissiveness, and who worship priests and other servants of gods and servants of tin gods, or people of your kind or human beings as envoys or representatives or substitutes of the gods, tin gods, and demons, you lose the reward of righteousness or conscientiousness, of equitableness or fairness, and virtues, and your existence or life will always be full of fear of punishment and of calamity. Hold fast to the truth, and do not allow mountains of unright and unrighteousness, or consciencelessness, to fall down over you like a blanket, and be always conscious of the fact that only the truth can rescue you from levels of the unright and untruth. And consider that if you bring forth or create descendants from your loins, that you shall teach or instruct them the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, so that you do not make them into witnesses against their own selves and against the truth, so that they become knowing of the true existence or reality, and are not unknowing of the truth at the end of their days. If you do not turn to the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, under your own power, and out of your own true discernment or intellect, and if you place gods, tin gods, demons, and spirits next to the wellspring of the love, or creation, then do not lay the blame for this on your forefathers and foremothers, or ancestors/forebears, who did the same at an earlier time. Consider that you are living long after them, and are of the seed or generations, and are yourselves responsible for what you do. Therefore it is given to you yourselves, as to whether you follow the truth and take joy in good living, or whether you destroy your good living for the sake of what you do that is deceitful and unfair, or irresponsible.